I misclicked into the Snorlax. I meant to go into Escavalier. So I give this Cresselia free farm and less farm for my own Escavalier. So this is going really bad. Talk about giving the opponent a win con right there. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content, mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber, like Diego Cabrera, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some Ultra League battles, this time in the Open Ultra League, and today we are showcasing a triple non-XL team, and there are a couple of reasons for this. One, I do not have any XL Pokemon built, and two, although I do think XL Pokemon are beneficial to have and definitely help with Go Battle League, I don't think they're necessary to reach Legend rank. I've never had an XL Pokemon on any of my teams, so I definitely think you can make it, and I hope that these videos are a way of showing some Pokemon and team building ideas to help you if you have no XL Pokemon available to you. The team we're using in today's video consists of a Snorlax lead, Giratina, and Escavalier. It's a pretty solid team overall. Looking at the movesets, you can see they're not your traditional movesets, a couple of different things in there: Earthquake, Dragon Breath, Ancient Power. I think that Giratina could get away with Dragon Breath, Ancient Power in this particular team comp because you do have some Steel type coverage already. Potential alternative for Giratina on this team would probably be Cresselia, since it does perform similarly to Giratina running Dragon Breath. They're both going to be very weak to Steel. I think in the lead Snorlax, a potential alternative would be something like Articuno or maybe Lapras if you don't want to be so weak to Talonflame. We'll definitely go more in depth about the movesets and everything else about this team in the video. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so let's hop into the battles right here. We are leading Snorlax. Snorlax is a pretty solid lead, has a lot of neutral matchups, and there isn't too many counter or fighting types in the Ultra League. Obstagoon probably the biggest threat, so pretty safe pick. We get a very positive lead here with Giratina. Notice I am running Earthquake. Earthquake actually makes the Giratina matchup a lot better, especially in these Zero Shields. But this Giratina is actually a Dragon Breath variant, so that's not very good for Snorlax. And you see the opponent is shielding there, so the opponent definitely could win this matchup with Giratina running Dragon Breath here, especially after shielding up the Earthquake. So I decided to actually just let the Snorlax go down here, and I'm going to come in with my own Giratina. So I assume here that I could probably farm down, maybe eat one or two, well, probably at least 2 Dragon Claws, but that should be about the only damage I take here. So I'm okay taking one, taking the second one, but I'm really hoping I could farm down from this point on. So looking to farm down, and we are able to do that, but look at that, we're already in the red. So that one Giratina basically took out 2 of our Pokemon. Opponent has a Registeel in the back, so I swap out into Escavalier, and the opponent's staying in. So at this point, I am definitely going to shield this up in case it is a Focus Blast, which it is, and they're still staying in. So that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Gonna throw the Joran here, definitely not expecting them to shield, and they don't. So they come in with Clefable, and if there's one fairy type you want to see in the back with this Escavalier, it is going to be Clefable. And this is where I really like having Acid Spray. Remember, Acid Spray did receive a buff, I guess you could call it. It does require less energy now, so it's a slightly better move. And look at this, we get the second shield with the Acid Spray. Now I'm going to go for the Joran. That is 3 charge moves before the Clefable even gets to their first. Registeel comes back in, able to take it out. So although that Giratina took out pretty much 2 of our Pokemon, Escavalier returned the favor right there, taking out 2 of the opponent's Pokemon, and we take that first game. Head into match number 2 here, we got Mighty Max, and this is one of the worst leads you could see. So Scrafty here, gonna swap out into Escavalier. Now you can make the argument that I could have swapped out into Giratina since it is running Dragon Breath. And the thing I like about running Dragon Breath Giratina is that a lot of times opponents will bring something in like an Obstagoon or an Alolan Muk or even a Snorlax thinking it's Shadow Claw, and then it ends up being Dragon Breath. So I do like that surprise factor. In this particular matchup, the opponent actually swaps out into Cresselia, so this is actually really good for me, but it kind of tells me that they're probably very weak to Escavalier in the back. So it's kind of nice in one sense, but at the same time you kind of wish you still had it available. So not having Megahorn here, kind of a blow Opponent didn't shield the first time, which was kind of surprising to me, but they do shield the second time in order to maintain switch. I'm okay with that because I want to come into Snorlax and pretty much farm this thing down completely. Now the main issue here is that I actually don't have Superpower, so can't really threaten that Scrafty too much, and I think that's the reason why the opponent didn't come back in with the Scrafty. They were probably a little bit afraid of a potential Superpower, so they come in with the Mandibuzz instead, and we're going to be throwing back-to-back body slams. I assume now that we're kind of dry on energy, the opponent will eventually swap out into Scrafty, not really fearing the Superpower, and that's when we come in with the Giratina. Now, running Dragon Breath here is of course going to benefit us. I try to call the Power Up Punch bait here, but they do go for the Foul Play. Foul Play isn't going to KO, of course, so I let the first one go through in case they do bait. I think that's the correct play in that situation, and I want to commit to the farm down here, and I'm hoping Ancient Power actually has some play against the Mandibuzz. So we are able to successfully farm down there, going for the Ancient Power, and I have no idea how much this does. Basically does nothing. Such a weak move. Ancient Power pretty much is only to get the boost, and aside from that it pretty much has no play. So I come to Snorlax here. Opponent still has a shield. I don't think Body Slam would KO regardless, even if they didn't have a shield, so this game's pretty much over here. Opponent is running a XL team, I guess. XL Scrafty, XL Mandibuzz. It is what it is. That was a pretty hard counter team, to be honest. Very difficult to come back from against that sort of lead. So can't really be too mad about losing that game again. Like, you're going to lose games in GBL, you're going to get hard countered. You're going to lose games where you have a good lineup, good alignment, you just make a mistake. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is. No point getting mad about it. It's a long season. See a positive lead in the next matchup here, so let's see if we could bounce back here. And this is actually a Shadow Claw Giratina this time, so a lot better matchup than the Dragon Breath, and we're gonna go straight for the Earthquake here. Not really expecting a shield at this point. They do let it go through, and probably could farm down. It still gets in the 0 shield, it gets very close still, so I do throw a Body Slam here, and should get hit by one more Dragon Claw right here, and then commit to the farm down and probably get to a Body Slam here. Opponent comes in with the Escavalier, so I'm actually going to throw the Body Slam here, let them take me out and maintain alignment just so I could bring in the Giratina. Now, of course, Giratina is running Dragon Breath, so it's not as great of a matchup, but still quite dominant because Escavalier is running counter and fast moves. So even with Dragon Breath, this is a pretty solid match. Now, not only am I running Dragon Breath, but I also don't have Shadow Stick, so this is about as bad as it could get against an Escavalier, but still a good matchup to be in. With Giratina, you're not going to complain. Show Run comes through. Opponent's staying in. Okay, so I'm trying to go for the complete farm down here. I'm going to have to shield once, but I don't mind that because we're going to have so much energy here. And the opponent comes in with Melmetal. So here comes the Escavalier, and look at how much these counters are chunking. And the great thing here is that you know they have to shield. So Drill Run bait is going to be successful in getting the shield. Now these counters are going to absolutely destroy here. Gonna call the first one as a Rock Slide bait because there really is no point to go for Superpower immediately, especially after having their defense dropped already. Now they'll probably go for the Superpower. I'm going to shield that up. If they have 2 ready, the second one actually won't KO. So this one, we should survive and be able to farm down with the Escavalier. One counter should pretty much be overkill after all those defensive drops. And their own Escavalier comes in. I'm going to throw the Acid Spray right here. That gets the final shield. And we're going for the Ancient Power, I guess, in a sense. Kind of BM there. I used to actually have Dragon Claw in that spot actually, so it wasn't because I wanted to throw Ancient Power there. I just switched Dragon Claw to the other side today, so unintentional BM, but it is what it is. Mew Ricky's in the next matchup, and I like when they have Mew in their name plus Mew in the lead. That is really nice. So Alolan Muk right here, and I build it up for the Earthquake. May as well. We could survive whatever the Muk throws here. Guaranteed to get a shield or pretty much the knockout against the Muk here with the Earthquake, so I feel like that's a fair exchange. Throw the Earthquake, opponent does shield. Now I'm going to come in with the Escavalier. Now, the problem with coming in with the Escavalier is that they actually do hurt us with the Dark Pulses quite a bit, so I let that go through, and I made a mistake here. I didn't think they had this much energy already, so unfortunately, I didn't throw that Forces to burn a shield. And now that I did do that mistake, make sure that you're going to overfarm a little bit. They swap out to keep that Muk alive. I don't really mind that too much. So the Cresselia comes in and we do get the second shield there. So I'm going to go for the Acid Spray. I actually want to lower this so that it's a lot more favorable for the Snorlax here. And hopefully I get to one more. Actually, I think what I was trying to do there was swap out into the Snorlax to catch the move, but the switch timer just didn't come up in time. And they take out the Escavalier. But that's totally fine. I come in with the Snorlax here. Not really too worried about the charge moves coming here from the Cresselia. and we should be able to throw 2 body slams here before they get to the next move, I believe. They might actually swap out because they've been doing some aggressive swaps, so I assume they're going to swap again, and that is what they do. Coming in with the Muk. Body slam's not going to KO, so I'm going to make an aggressive swap of my own into Giratina and farm down with the Dragon Breath. That's huge for us. Mew comes back in. Although we are not running any ghost type moves on this Giratina, still a decent matchup here against the Mew. And as far as I'm aware, there isn't one move that could one-shot Giratina from this range coming from Mew, so I decided to let it go through. It's only a Flame Charge, going to throw the Dragon Claw here once again. And I assume it's possible they're running Flame Charge, maybe Crunch, Flame Charge, Rock Slide, but I figured that if they do have a move here that takes us out, I could just come in with Snorlax after and farm it down with Lick. So I decided not to shield, knowing that Cresselia did have a move. So I wanted to save that shield in case that's what they did. And now they bait us with Grass Knot. Doesn't matter because at this point I know that I have the Dragon Claw ready. That's why I shielded. This is going to take out the Mew. We take that game. If the Mew did knock out the Giratina with a one-shot move, my plan was to come in with the Snorlax, farm it down completely. We'd have the Body Slam ready, shield up the Grass Knot if they won CMP somehow, and then take it out with the Body Slam. So GG's there. Let's hop into the next battle here, and we see a Galvantula lead. So Galvantula has been a Pokemon that's kind of seen a lot of people have been using it in recent seasons lately. Of course, XL Pokemon are starting to take over all of Ultra League, not just Premier, but also the Open Ultra League now. So a lot of Galvantula running around, going for the lunch here. I'm just going to stay in, take the one shield, and come in with the Giratina. Now, of course, against the Galvantula lead here, you could pretty much expect a hard counter to Giratina in the back, since Galvantula does lose this matchup. But my play here is just to take all these lunges, farm it down completely with Dragon Breath, and then look to swap out into Escavalier pretty much no matter what they bring in. It's an Alolan Ninetales, and they come in with a Jellicent. So I'm going to go for the Drill Run right here. And the opponent is going to shield that up. So we have a 2-shield advantage now. And here's a big call. Shadow Ball, Bubble Beam. They almost never bait. And of course, this time they bait. I never make the right call. I mean, it seems like, obviously sometimes I make the right call, but it always seems like I make the wrong call. We make the right call in the second one, but the problem is here that I don't think 2 Drill Runs is going to be enough to KO, and I pretty much need this Escavalier for the Alolan Ninetales. So this game is looking like it's pretty much over at this point, but the opponent actually swaps out to Ninetales, and this kind of gives me a win con here. So I'm going to go for these Ancient Powers. Obviously, if I get the boost, that would really help, but actually there's no win con here. Yeah, because I'm going to get knocked out here. And then my only play basically would be to farm down with the Escavalier, which is not going to happen. We could survive a Weather Ball. But yeah, the Jellicent has a move rate, so there's no win con here actually. So I just got ahead of myself. I would need to farm this down completely, which isn't going to happen. And I didn't even try for it. So throw this. The switch timer should be up. They're going to swap out into the Jellicent with the move ready. Take this game. So pretty rough set there in the first couple of battles. We did go 3-2. Still positive. And that's pretty much what it's all about in GBL. So jumping into the second set of battles, we got Hedgehog 1188. Shout out to Sonic, Snorlax into Mewtwo, and this is a very nice lead. Well, I mean, it's a pretty nice lead. Of course, Mewtwo could have Dynamic Punch, but Dynamic Punch isn't going to KO anyways. I actually decided to shield here, I think, in case it was a Dynamic Punch, which is a questionable shield because Dynamic Punch isn't going to KO coming from an armored Mewtwo, so I don't think you need to shield in that situation. But again, I want to keep some health on this Snorlax, so I'm going to go throw the Body Slam here, and I think just commit to the farm down here. Probably have to take one more move. Not expecting the Dynamic Punch at this point, so it is another Side Strike. They swap out into Talonflame, so I come in with Giratina. And against Talonflame here, almost never makes sense for them to go Brave Bird the first time, so you don't really need to shield the first one. It's after they throw the first Flame Charge that it becomes a decision. So I go for the Ancient Power here, we get the shield. And for some reason, my read on this opponent was that they just weren't going to throw Brave Bird, so I call another Flame Charge, which they do, and now we're going to go for Dragon Claw. And the thing here is that our health is getting so low to the point where it almost doesn't make sense for them to go for Brave Bird. So I figure that they're going to bait again, so I don't shield once again, and it's another Flame Charge, and they swap out into Mewtwo. So I come to Snorlax here, farm that down, and now if the Talonflame comes back in, I should be able to get to a Body Slam. It's actually an Umbreon, so I figured if they go for the foul play immediately, I'll probably just get off one move. Earthquake should be doing more damage if I'm just doing one move, but it looks like they're actually committing to the complete farm down, so I decided to go for the Body Slam right here. and we actually get CMP tie. So this is best case scenario right here. Umbreon using up energy, we got off 2 moves, and we come in with Escavalier. Now, we still have that shield for the Talonflame. Don't want to shield anything from the Umbreon at this point. The Talonflame is the bigger threat. So the opponent swaps out, I come back in with the Giratina, and we have the Dragon Claw ready. So that's huge for us. And unfortunately that Incinerate did take us out, which means the Talonflame gets to move. So we have to shield here, of course, but we can farm down, and we have the Drill Run ready. So Umbreon probably will survive this Drill Run, but 1 or 2 more counters should take it out. We're not in foul play range, so we are able to take that game. So let's hop in to the next battle right here. And we're going up against Rapala 9. And once again, we are going to be leading Snorlax into a Giratina. So a lot of Giratina leads. Usually I like to lead Articuno. You can see why. Snorlax, pretty similar right there. Articuno is actually much more dominant. Opponent here swapping out into the Stunfisk. So more XL Pokemon here in the Open Ultra. This one doesn't look like it's fully maxed out, although I'm not really sure what Stunfisk maxes out at. So we do go for the Drill Run there. I was not expecting a shield because we are going to outpace them to the second move, and they decide to double shield. So at this point, I'm actually okay just letting this go down here. So I let the Earthquake go through, and they're gonna have to throw in a move. I let it go through in case they baited with Rock Slide, but even if they go with Earthquake, they have to throw another Rock Slide there to take us out. So I'm gonna come in with the Snorlax, look to farm down completely, and take the energy plus shield advantage. So when Giratina comes back in, I'm assuming that this player is probably very weak to Snorlax in the back. So we're gonna see what they're running here. Could be a double Steel line, to be honest, maybe. So Giratina, it is a Dragon Breath Giratina actually, and I think I realized that late, so I swapped out into my own Giratina here. And actually, so them having Dragon Breath Giratina kind of changes things, because that actually isn't too bad of a match against Snorlax, and it's an Empoleon in the back end. Not the greatest situation to be in here with a Dragon Breath Ancient Power Giratina. However, with the shield and pretty much the Earthquake loaded on the Snorlax, there was nothing the opponent could do there. Even if they did stand, the Dragon Breath would add up to the point where Earthquake plus his shield is going to knock out the Empoleon one shot, take the game. And that Earthquake's probably the only sort of bangs that we'd see with this team, because not really a heavy hitting team, more of like a bulky, kind of grind it down team, you know, kind of like Denver Nuggets style, except when they win games, not get swept. And speaking about the NBA, Kawhi Leonard apparently injured, so Paul George has his opportunity to change the narrative on his career right now. I would, man, if he somehow pulls off that victory against the Jazz without Kawhi, I'm gonna wear that jersey with pride instead of shame. Whenever it arrives, that is. But we got Gyarados here into Giratina, so I decided to shield this up right here, calling the crunch. Successfully did get the crunch right there. Gonna throw the Dragon Claw here before the next move comes, and they decide to let that go down. So I'm pretty happy about that. And let's see what the opponent decides to come in with here. They come in with a Swampert, so not really what you want to see down shields here, but we do have an energy lead, and Dragon Breath does add up here, so the opponent does get to the Earthquake here. I'm pretty loaded on energy, so I wanted to shield this up. Earthquake probably wouldn't KO, so I could probably still get off the Dragon Breath, but I figured if I did shield, I should be able to get off one more Dragon Breath after this still. Opponent swaps out into Cresselia, and I make a misplay right here. I misclick into the Snorlax. I meant to go into Escavalier, so I give this Cresselia free farm and less farm for my own Escavalier. So this is going really bad. Talk about giving the opponent a win con right there. And what I want to do here is build up to this Acid Spray and throw it before the Hydro Cannon comes. So I think we'd actually survive anyways. So this right here, watch this. They're going to shield. There it is. And you know, nobody likes shielding the Acid Spray, so they don't want the smoke. Back out of the match. We take that game on the power of Acid Spray. Let's hop into the next battle. I really like Acid Spray, and I really like that it got... it's not really a buff, but horrible lead right here. We do not like that. Swap out into Giratina, and here comes the Steelix, and I'm pretty sure this is an XL Steelix, and this thing is not only spice, but this thing walls Giratina, especially a Dragon Breath Giratina. So I don't know how I feel about Dragon Breath. Like, I know its purpose and stuff, but it doesn't seem like people are swapping out the wrong Pokemon into it, and I'm not really getting aligned against the right things. So with this team comp, Dragon Breath definitely works, but this is just a hard counter line. Like, I'm trying to make some sort of justification for losing this, but I wasn't expecting Earthquake there either, so that pretty much took out my whole Escavalier right there. So I'm going to throw the Acid Spray, expecting the shield, of course. They're almost always going to shield. And now the game pretty much comes down to Snorlax being able to get the last shield from the Machamp and hopefully take this out before getting hit by a cross chop, which isn't going to happen, obviously. So at this point, I realize I'm going to get hit by another cross chop, so I want to get off the body slam to at least get the final shield. We're going to get hit by the cross chop here. And then from that point, there's pretty much nothing we can do. See, if we were able to farm down here, maybe we would have some play left in this game. But with the cross chop coming, Excadrill in the back, it would have been interesting if I could have farmed down completely, maybe if I was running Superpower, but we do lose that game. That was just hard counter city. Nothing you can really do there. It happens. It is what it is. Let's hop into the next battle. I mean, you can't get mad losing to a Steelix, right? I should have just left the battle. And right here, we got a Nidoqueen. So when I see this in the lead, I'm assuming that this player went into the wrong league. Probably meant to go into Premier Cup because Nidoqueen doesn't really have too much play in the Open Ultra, but definitely a solid pick for the Premier Cup. So Poison Fangs coming through, I'm letting them go, and I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake right here. Most people don't expect it. Bang! There it is. And the opponent swaps out into Umbreon, so here comes the Escavalier. And this is what we like to see. So Umbreon, XL of course. You know, although it's a good matchup for Umbreon, it does still add up. And I built up to Megahorn here expecting the shield. And then I realized, you know, maybe they don't want a shield because they're going to lose this matchup regardless. So probably a mistake going for the Acid Spray there. But I do decide to go for the Drill Run here. If they don't shield this, then it tells you that they never intended to shield to begin with. And they don't. So we're able to counter down there, which is really nice. And the opponent comes in with a Scrafty, which I was not expecting to see. So I'm going for the Acid Spray bait once again. And they do shield, so I swap out into Giratina right here, preserving the Escavalier, and Foul Play comes through. Hope to call a bait. Nidoqueen comes through, definitely trying to go for the Poison Fang right there. Wasn't able to get it. That gives me a little bit of free farm. Dragon Claw comes through, we get the shield. And at this point, the game should be over. We could probably even survive a Foul Play right here, to be honest, and that is why I call the bait. And they go for the Pup. Landing the Pup bait and then the Foul Play would definitely knock us out, so I figured that no shielding there was the play. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. We take that game and we go 4-1 in this second set, 7-3 overall. So those were the battles featuring a triple non-XL team, Snorlax, Giratina, and Escavalier. Let me know what you guys thought of the team in the comments section down below. It's definitely a fun team to use. Pretty solid overall, it does have its weaknesses, but of course every team in GBL is going to have some weaknesses. Also in the comments, let me know if there are any Pokemon you'd like to see me run, in particular non-XL Pokemon, because that's pretty much all I'm going to be using for the Ultra League. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.